Hey everybody, welcome to Disneyopolis. I'm Bryan. We are back at City Hall for another fantastic show today. My best buddy Paper Duffy's behind me. He's hanging with the two Mickeys. Today's show is going to be interesting to say the least. We are going to take a look at Disney innovations. And when I say Disney innovations, I'm talking about things that either Walt Disney himself or Disney as a company has done that was either groundbreaking, as in nobody had ever done it before, or they perfected something to where it is now the standard, whatever the standard happens to be. And we've got a lot to talk about, so let's just jump right into it. The first innovation is literally probably the first innovation. That is 1928's release of the movie Steamboat Willie. It was the first time that fully synchronized sound was part of an animation, or cartoon as it was referred to back then. Back when he made his debut on the big screen, Mickey Mouse in Steamboat Willie, fully synchronized sound. It used to be with a lot of these movies, particularly back in the 20s, they were accompanied by either a full orchestra or maybe just an organist or a pianist. This was the first time that every theater you went to, it had sound, the same sound, and it was pretty groundbreaking for its day. That's Steamboat Willie, 1928. The next groundbreaking innovation that Disney was responsible for is 1937's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The first full-length animation feature makes its debut. Now this is interesting for a couple of different reasons. It's innovative for a couple of different reasons. The first is, again, it's the first feature-length animation to ever debut. It used to be that animation / cartoons were just simply filler, before the main event, as it were. And this time animation was the main event. It was also the first time animation had been used in a feature film, and that was in full color. So it was a very interesting and very groundbreaking thing back when Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs came out in 1937. 1955, Disneyland opens. Now, despite many older parks having added themed rides and areas, qualifying the park as a theme park, the very first park that was actually known as a theme park was Santa Claus Land, and that's in Santa Claus, Indiana. That opened in 1946, so it predated Disneyland, but this is an area where Walt Disney went above and beyond and made it kind of the standard. Disneyland, of course, located in Anaheim, California, was built around the whole concept of encapsulating multiple theme parks into one single amusement park. And again, it's oftenly mistaken as the first themed amusement park. However, Walt's use of a center hub, or a wagon wheel, as it were, where all the attractions emanated from, was unique at that time. And really, if you take a look at most of the theme parks around the world today, that's really the way that they're themed. Obviously, Walt Disney World and all the Disney parks overseas are also themed the same way. So that was Disneyland, 1955. 1963, the Tiki Room opened at Disneyland, and it introduced the world to what Walt would later call audio animatronics, which are electromechanical robots. And if you've ever been to the Enchanted Tiki Room, it still is wonderful to watch. It's still something that leaves me in awe every time I see it. But that kind of set into motion the idea that you could actually have human-like figures, or if not human, things that were avatars for the real world, and they looked almost real, even though they were manufactured. And again, that is Walt Disney and Disney as a company being at the forefront of changing technology and changing it themselves. In 1982, the re-recording of Fantasia breaks ground as the first film that was ever done in totally digital sound. Now, obviously, all they did was they remastered the sound from the original movie, but nobody had ever done that before as far as doing it digitally. So again, Disney at the forefront. Also, 1982, Disney was the first to successfully open a large-scale theme park based solely around education. That, of course, was Epcot, and that opened in 1982. Now it's obviously undergone some changes. Now, not only do you have World Showcase and Future World, but now you have the addition of some of the the popular movies that Disney's put out with the interjection of Frozen into the Norway Pavilion. So again, always leading on innovation. 1984, Captain EO was the first of the 4D films, basically a 3D movie that incorporated other things such as smoke and lasers. That opened in Disneyland in 1984. Of course, we know about 20 years later they brought it back and had it in the parks for another 3-4 years or so. And so the people who didn't get to see it originally got to see it, and I'm glad to count myself among those who did get to see Captain EO before it shut down again. 1995, Pixar Animation Studios, which would eventually become Disney, released Toy Story, the first feature-length animated film done completely on a computer. No hand-drawn animation on this, and that set into wave, again, a new industry standard where other studios began to follow suit. And of course, Disney Pixar had the lead in making these movies, and so they were kind of the king of them for a while. But anyway, that was 1995. 1998, ABC Television, a division of Disney, aired its first actually the first network broadcast of high-definition television with the live-action version of 101 Dalmatians. Hadn't been done up until then. Disney went and did it. 2005, in an unprecedented deal, Disney makes full-length TV episodes available in the Apple iTunes Music Store. Again, nobody done these things until then. Wasn't too terribly long into that. 2006, ABC became the first network to offer ad-supported TV episodes online for free via its own branded player. So again, Disney leading. And then finally, the last one I wanted to touch on, ESPN launches the SportsCenter app, the very not the very first the very first sports app, but the most downloaded sports app ever. 55 million downloads. Again, innovative, leading the charge into the next century, and I mean that's one of the great things about Walt Disney and the Walt Disney Company. Walt Disney has won more Academy Awards than any other human being. I believe that was 22 just for him individually, and that doesn't count what the company has actually won themselves. So anyway, just kind of a quick show to kind of highlight some of those things that Disney either did first or did better than anybody else. If you have any ideas that maybe I didn't include in the show today, make sure that you comment down below. We'd love to hear maybe some things, like I said, that that I neglected to include in this show. Not because I didn't want to, but Disney's on the front lines of so many things. It is no surprise, if we manage to miss one. Again, as always, would like you to give us a thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below. Please subscribe. I appreciate all of you who have clicked the subscribe button. We are so glad you're a part of the Disneyopolis family. And as always, we value your feedback. And thank you so much for everything. We are Disneyopolis. We are everything Disney all the time. Have a great day.